Hi, my name is Amit Singh. I am the Principal Consultant for US Visa India. I come with 10 years of experience for international students and MNCs. While recruiting international students, obtaining a US visa was a big challenge. That's where I consulted immigration attorneys in the United States and I was introduced to EB-5. I did my own due diligence for almost 1.5 years and I realized that it is a legitimate way for Indian families and students to get a green card in the United States. Now, I'm glad that I have Mr. Amit Khan with me today, who is a US registered migration attorney. So, Mr. Khan, why don't you tell our viewers more about the EB-5 program?
Sure, and thanks for having me, Amit. Now, as Amit mentioned, I'm a U.S. migration attorney with Darren Silver & Associates. We are one of the oldest and most respected EB-5 firms in the country. We filed more than 4,500 applications, and we have a very, very high rate of success. Now, Amit, the EB-5 program is, in essence, the fastest way to obtain a green card to the United States. In exchange for an investment of either $500,000 or $1 million, an investor can bring his entire family to the United States as quickly as 2 years. So it's pretty easy to see why this program has gained a lot of popularity, especially here in India.
Great, that sounds really perfect. So, but there has to be some catch, Mr. Khan, right? And are there any other requirements to it?
I'm glad you asked, Amit. Although it seems very straightforward, the process can be complicated. Although I will say that although there are complications that arise, the process remains very transparent throughout. There's two main things that the investor has to be concerned about. The first thing is to make sure that they create 10 full-time American jobs. The second is making sure that their investment remains at risk for a full 2 years after they get their visa approval. This period is what we call the conditional residency period.
Okay, so tell us more about the conditional residency period and what does the investor have to do in this time?
Investors usually go through a regional center, and the regional center will handle most of the heavy lifting on behalf of the investor. They'll create the jobs, they'll make sure that the investment stays at risk, and they'll handle all the particulars surrounding the EB-5 process. Now, once the 2 years are almost up of the conditional residency period, the investor will make a second application to the government. And this will basically just show that they've created the jobs, they've kept their money at risk, and everything is in order. If all the conditions are met, the government then gives them their permanent residency.
Okay, that sounds pretty simple. I noticed that you mentioned the regional center in there. Can you tell us more about the regional center and the role they play in the process?
So a regional center is a government-approved entity that can sponsor the projects that the investors will be putting their money into. Now, they essentially pool together the investors, collect their money, and make sure the money is moving in the correct fashion for the investment to be sustained. Throughout this process, they'll also make sure the jobs are created, they'll keep the money at risk, they'll tie up any loose ends that really come up throughout the process. Now, obviously for this service, they do charge a small fee, but it's upfront, and it carries the investor from beginning to the end of the process and gives them a very high chance of getting the green card at the end of the day. So I've created a quick visual outline of what this entire process looks like. This will give you a really good idea of both the time involved and what steps are needed to get your permanent green card.
As you can see from the chart, there are 5 different parts to getting your permanent green card. Each step takes its own timeline. The first step, filing and having the 526 adjudicated, takes roughly 16 to 18 months. Once you have the approval, you'll either go through adjustment of status, which can take anywhere from 8 to 10 months, or consular processing, which can take 4 to 6 months. Once you have your green card or your visa, you'll start your conditional residency in the United States, which has a fixed timeline of 2 years. 3 months before these 2 years expire, you move on to the next step, filing your I-829, petitioning the government to remove conditions on your permanent residency. This currently takes 1 to 2 years to gain approval. Once you've gained approval of the I-829 petition, you're done and you've obtained a permanent green card to the United States.
Great, understood. Thank you, Mr. Khan, for sharing this information with our viewers.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Dear viewers, I hope this session has been informative. To get more information on EB-5, Please contact us on the bill of details. Until then, this is Amit Singh signing off. Goodbye.
For more information, please visit us at www.usvisa-india.com or email us at info@usvisa-india.com. The address, plot number 286, Udyog Vihar Phase 4, Gurugram 122016, Haryana, India. India direct telephone number +91 987 351 2121.